All right. Okay, so my name is Muppet Bones or Soren Flyin. I go by lots of things, apparently. Today we are going to be watching the Palia gameplay first look. Palia is about to be streaming live, and I'm gonna open my comments just in case anyone joins the stream. Um, um, and I'm super excited to see a first look at Palia. I have been following this game for well over a year. And I think I started not this January, but last January, I started following Palia. I've been in their Discord. I've even done just a smidge of beta of alpha testing, and not I can't talk about it, but that's what I did, and I'm so excited to see a first look at the gameplay. It is going to closed beta on August 2nd and then open beta on August 10th. And I cannot be more hyped. Well, we'll see, honestly. The gameplay will probably hype me up quite a bit. Because all I've seen is what's in the trailer, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer for you, just so you can see. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I see some people comparing the graphics to Dreamlight Valley, which I guess is kind of fair, but you gotta remember, this isn't Disney. This is a group of independent artists. It's a very small company, Singularity 6, and and they're making sure that their workers have hours that are normal and that they're not working overtime and doing crunch, which is a notorious thing in the gaming community. But it has farming sim, but also there's cooking and hunting and fishing and crafting furniture. And I think the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that it is like it's free to play. It's an MMO, and I haven't had a free to play MMO since like I was in middle school, maybe. It's going to be available on the PC, and in the holidays, it's going to, I think, officially release on the Switch. But right now, it's not even in beta yet, but it's about to be. um, it just seems like a really cozy game, and it's not focused on fighting at all, which I think will appeal to a lot of people. Just adventure and crafting and friendship. And I'm curious to see how they keep players' attention when there isn't stuff like combat. If they're going to be updating the story more and more as the game comes out. So yeah, that was the beta release trailer. So now we're just waiting for them to go live on Twitch. Which is it's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be like 10 minutes, I think, until the stream actually starts. But if any of you come back in and have any questions that I can answer about Palia, then I will answer those questions. Um, I think something people have been talking about is what are they going to do if it's free to play? Because every company has to make money. They have to have a revenue stream so that they can keep the company going, so that they can keep improving on the game. And so what Palia's answer to that has been is is a shop in game that you can spend real money on for like really fancy wardrobe choices, basically, like just outfits. And um it's I've seen a lot of people wonder, like, okay, so what does that mean? Are people going to be able to pay for stuff in game that I'm working hard to get without money. And no, I don't think from what I've seen on all the FAQs, they're saying that nothing you can buy is stuff that you can earn in game and vice versa. So I think that's a really good clear line that they've drawn. Um and to just go back to what I was saying before, I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how they keep players' attention and how they keep the buy-in is obviously this very cozy game where you're making friends and you're adventuring together. But I think for a lot of people, even if like the cozy stuff appeals to us, we're used to like, oh, you do dungeons and you level up and you do all this stuff with fighting. And it feels a little strange to have like not that. But I think I assume there's like this main storyline that's going on, places you can go to, because it is open world from what I understand. And I've seen just a little bit from, I mean, the trailer that I just showed you, that of like a place you can go to for mining. That sounds really cool. And obviously there's I say obviously, they didn't really show it in the game that much. In the trailer, but there's a lot of characters in the town that you can romance, which that also brings up the like, okay, so like everybody's like sharing a boyfriend. Like we're not, but like that's your boyfriend, that's also my boyfriend, kind of thing. Um so I'm very interested to see how it all like shapes up and shapes out. Um but again, I've been so excited for this, and it's just really impressive what they've done. One of the things I'm most excited to do is I play a lot of like Sims and Animal Crossing and things like that. So I really like decorating a home and putting it together and making it really cozy and beautiful. And one of the things in this game is like crafting furniture. And so I think it'll be really interesting to see like what all kinds of rooms you can like create. Um I don't know exactly what like theme I'm gonna go for, mostly because I don't know what's available. Again, in that short trailer, there were like, let me see if I can find it. There were these beautiful rooms. Yeah, like look at that. That's really cute. Like that bed is so cute, and the wardrobe and the hanging plants everywhere. And then like, oh my god, that one was just for a second, but the color here is so beautiful. This bright, bright fuchsia. Um, I guess magenta? I don't know. It's somewhere in there. It's like a raspberry color. It's so pretty, but then they have all of these shelves and this like aquarium sort of backdrop. Like is that something you can craft? And also the lighting is insane from like the clips that I've seen and the little pictures they've released over time. The lighting, like look here, look at this. This is majestic. And this chaise lounge kind of thing going on. It might just be a couch that's fancy. I always think fancy couches are chaise lounges. I'm like, if you can faint onto it, that's a chaise lounge. Um, but yeah, I I and the candlelight, do you see this? It's wild. And I just, yeah, I'm just so excited to like to build. And obviously they were showing that the house expands over time. You add more and more things. And what is that, like furniture outside? That's so cool. Getting to decorate the outside is always um I'd say a difficult thing in a lot of games. Like The Sims has outdoor furniture. In Animal Crossing it's kind of hard because even if the furniture goes outdoors, you can't really make like you can't set down a rug or anything like that. But like over here that kind of looks like they've got that. Like over here there's this little couch and a table, and I want to say that's a rug or like some tile or something. And they've got this little cute little bridge right here. Um it's so cool. And there's like a windmill and this house in the back. I don't know what that's for. Uh my guess, just from like Stardew Valley mindset, is like a greenhouse or something, or like a place to make wine. I don't know. Um, I really hope I could get some of my friends to play this game because it would be so fun. I mentioned that I haven't had a game like this since like middle school, like an MMO that's like fantasy kind of, and you get to dress up and have a stylized house and everything. I haven't had a game like that for me since like Free Realms. And I don't even know if anybody remembers that game. But it had beautiful music and at the time very fun and cute visuals. Um but I'm so excited to have another game like that in my life. One where I can really like build community, even if it's not with my friends, with other players. The community online has been so inviting and welcoming. And just like, I think one of their trailers, not this trailer, but their first trailer that released forever ago, said like Palia, welcome home. And I think that's like a big thing for Palia, is the idea that this is you coming home. If I'm remembering correctly from like the lore of Palia, from the very little that I know, um humans haven't been around for a while, but we're like coming back maybe, and settling in Palia. And so I guess it really is a welcome home. It's a homecoming, if you will. Spider-Man Homecoming. um yeah, I don't know. I'm just very excited for it. And the music is beautiful. There's this like clip on, you should definitely follow their like YouTube channel just for updates and stuff. And get in the Discord if you're like super into Palia. Because it is the place to be. um but on YouTube they have this like 10-minute clip of music, and it's so beautiful and it's so peaceful. Like I feel like I could spend so much time doing absolutely nothing in that game. Just wandering around and looking at the scenery and listening to the music. Which is one of my favorite things to do in video games, I'll be honest. Like in Dragon Age Inquisition, I like doing the quests and everything, of course, but like part of the fun of it is just wandering around this just beautiful world. And I don't know, underrated part of games is wandering around. I remember back in World of Warcraft, whenever I couldn't think of something to do, I would just start walking, and I would fight monsters on the way or whatever, and I would find quests like NPCs on the road, and I'd find new buildings because I'd just pick a direction and I'd walk in it, and I'd wander. And I think something my brother and I did is, oh my god, we really did do this. Something my brother and I did back in Free Realms was, because we could see the map of the whole world, and it was like pretty big. There were a lot of different like zones and lands and stuff. And we would just journey from one edge of the map to the other and hit all the different towns and stuff on the way. And we would just go and we would just look at the scenery and we would chat, and it was so fun. And I'd love to be able to recreate that a little bit. I Of course this game is releasing on the PC first. The open beta is on the PC, and eventually during the holiday season it's supposed to release on the Switch. I do think, and this is just based off of my own precognition. What am I even saying? This is just based off of my own me knowing myself. I think I'll be more of a Switch player than I will be a PC player once it's out on both platforms, because it is cross-platform compatible. Because it's an MMO, it has to be. Um, excuse me while I drink so much water because I didn't drink any water yesterday. I say that. I drank some water, but I did not drink enough, and I like streamed for 4 hours yesterday, and I like streamed through lunchtime. And again, I'm starting the stream at like right before 12 today. Oh my god. The stream's probably about to start. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen so I don't have to look at all the stuff and so we can get the full picture, the full experience. It's gonna be cool hearing from uh the the people who made the game too, to put faces to the names and all that. Because all I've seen are like little handles on Discord. Um and I haven't been really able to separate them into different people. um but I always love seeing like behind the scenes stuff too. So I'm interested to see what all they show and how long the stream is going to be. Like, is it going to be kind of like that trailer? Is it just going to be like 2 minutes? Or are they going to really like delve in and get hype for the game? And what they show off too is very interesting. And I'll probably go back to like specific moments so we can really break down what they have shown us. Um okay, wait, I'm actually just so curious about the chat. The chat's probably going insane. Um, the yellow dress is cute. I'm seeing this person say that. It's so cute. We've got what, like 8,000 people watching this? 8,500? That's oh my god! Up to 10,000. Oh, it's like skyrocketing. Oh my god. Like so many people just entered the Palia stream. Oh, that's so cool. I just saw someone say no they them. I will say if it starts, I'm just gonna stop talking and let it play, and comment or whatever. But the one of the really cool things is that they don't have two genders to pick from. They have two different body types, and while I do wish those body types weren't skinny, weren't like I wish you could adjust them even more to your liking. There's just like a masculine frame and a feminine frame, and I was like, I want to play a woman who's like really masculine looking and really tall, but like not that masculine looking. And I don't know. It was it's going to be interesting. I'm very excited to figure out who I'm going to make for my character. I've done a little bit of planning. Um but I hope they adjust like the body types in the future. Um cuz I feel like Palia should I feel like all games should reflect their players. Um and that includes body type. And a lot of the characters in Palia have a lot of like diversity among like types of bodies, and so I feel like the game should also reflect that. Like the players should also reflect the diversity there. Um I do remember I liked the starting hairstyles and clothes um that I've seen in like screenshots and stuff. Um but yeah, I'm so excited. Oh my god. How many people are here now? We got 12,000. Did I get a... Okay. Wonder if there's gonna be another, like, spike in... It's 12:05. Come on, guys. Y'all gotta play. Y'all gotta start it. Obviously, it says 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm in not Pacific time, so it's like 12:05 for me. Oh my god. I like that they've made this room look really cozy. Obviously, like, I think some of it is like an animated background, but the furniture they're sitting on is very Palia reminiscent. So that's very smart and cute. Oh my god. Are they gonna start? Ever? um, let's see what else am I excited about. Um, excited about the free to play. Because that means like barrier to entry is really low. And that's nice because there's some games that I really like, but the subscription, cough cough, Final Fantasy 14, but the subscription is a bit much for me, and I'd rather play more games for that amount of money than one game. And so, yeah, I think I'm also really excited about just playing with other people in a game like this. Like this game. I don't know what I'm saying. um oh, I don't even have to exit. Um it's like up there, I think. Yeah, it's updating up there. Oh, 12,000 people. That's pretty good. I'm sure it'll keep climbing, but I hope they start it soon. Do I need to like refresh the page? I don't want to refresh the page. Oh, okay. From left to right, we have uh Aiden Karabike, um the game director. Then we have Olivia Frias, lead narrative director. From left to right. I feel like they did this wrong. That's okay. We have a lead narrative director, and then we have Maxwell Zirith, lead producer, and then Ambrielle Army, senior director of production. Is that missing someone? One, two, three, four. Yeah, they only have 4 people listed. Interesting. Maybe one of them's not in the video for very long. Do I need to? I'm gonna refresh the page.
Hey guys, Angel here, and let me show you guys my
an ad.
with Amazon.
No.
So I got all this new stuff in all my favorite
colors. Oh, they are showing it. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Pink.
I like to get a little wild sometimes. I like a clean room, no trash.
Okay, I'm gonna mute the hell out of that. Okay, I'm seeing people they're showing the character creator. I'm seeing people talk about how there's no pale skin, and I'll be honest, that is also an issue that I had as a very, very pale person. Which like
usually more will be added over time, as this is a living, breathing.
Absolutely. It's a live service game, and so that's one of the great things. You know, we're happy about the options that we're starting off with, but you know, this is day one from when the game first comes out. We're going to continue to add things into the future. So definitely, as players, you know, let us know what we're missing. We're excited to keep expanding this world over time.
Light skin, that's what y'all are missing.
And our character, Maddie Mush, I believe is what the name was there, is looking so cute. So after Maddie Mush is created, what comes next?
I'll go back for the character creator.
We're going to jump right into
but I'm going to keep with the live stream right now.
No small amount of drama for how you enter the world of Palia. So let's check that out.
Yeah, we love drama. So what are we looking at here?
These are some ancient human ruins. It's a place that our Majiri, which are our kind of purple-skinned elf-like race, what they call the Phoenix Shrine. I wonder how they got that name, given the statue. And this is an archaeologist. Her name is Gina. And she's exploring these ruins and has triggered a magical event. So as we can see, there's some magic brewing up there. There's this sphere coming from the heavens. I wonder what we'll see.
I mean, that sphere of light looks very familiar. Maybe we saw it at the end of the character creator.
Oh, look, it's Mushy Maddie.
Oh my gosh, it's you or me, one way or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is your character opening their eyes for the first time and seeing this world, and a very surprised archaeologist looking at them.
Olivia, do we as the player know where we've come from? I mean, just the fact that we're kind of looking at our hands makes me think maybe this is a rebirth or an awakening of sorts.
Yeah, your character is a brand new person, so they somehow know how to speak, but other than that, you know, they haven't really experienced anything before. So this
interesting
is brand new.
Newborn adult.
And I imagine our archaeologist, who is just kind of examining some ruins, is probably quite shocked at this point. Yes, Aiden?
Oh, absolutely. So while there are many humans entering the world of Palia across the landscape, this is the first time Gina's seen someone kind of come to life right before her eyes. So you have that kind of special connection to Gina right off the bat.
That's pretty impressive. All right, now I see it looks like we're starting to run through another area. Is this kind of our first look as the character at the world of Palia?
Yeah, so this is where you're doing, getting adjusted to some of your basic movement. It looks like this player knows how to get their way around all right. But yeah, here's the big reveal as you go out into Kilima Valley itself.
Gorgeous. Look at that rainbow. Look at that mist.
Breath of the Wild
And I assume
in the
we will be able
opening.
to explore everything we're looking at right now.
It is, absolutely. So, run down to that town. That's going to be the next step that we're going to go through here.
Okay, perfect. And does that town have a name, Olivia?
Yeah, it is called Kilima Village. So the root word is similar to
Kilima Village.
Kilimanjaro. It kind of just helps you pronounce it there. But it's a small town. Used to be a bit bigger trade hub, but kind of has dried up. Sleepy little town. We've got 23 people living there. And I think those like small town vibes can be really cozy, which is a feeling that we want to evoke throughout the game, this like coziness.
Oh, it
The wind is
definitely
really
feels
cool.
cozy, and it feels like a world that I personally
Sorry,
would love to
me being like,
explore
the
and go
wind.
within, and I'm sure everyone watching
But
feels
still.
the same way. Now, is Maddie just extra curious in going to the village, or is there something that Maddie's trying to do right now?
So Gina has told Maddie that in order to kind of get their housing plot to get themselves set up, they need to talk to Ashura, the innkeeper. Ashura is kind of like the dad of the village. He used to be a war hero, but since then has become a pacifist and opened up this inn. And when the humans started emerging, he just kind of naturally took it upon himself to help people get set up. The inn's really small.
So we're not the
It can't,
first
house
human that's
hundreds of
arrived.
Humans, so
But we're the first
getting
one
them set
that
up with a
that
tent,
one character has
and
seen.
we're about to meet him just now.
Well, that's very kind of Ashura. I notice we're also walking past some other villagers. Maxwell, are you the type of player that when you first go into a game like Pele, you want to talk to all the villagers, or are you going right for the quest?
I do like to quickly chat and just get to know who I'm around, and then I beeline it straight for, all right, let's get this going.
There's Ashura.
Yep.
Oh,
And
he's so pretty.
Ashura has quite an interesting look to him. So, Ambrielle, I'm going to ask you to kind of weigh in on the character design of Ashura.
Oh yeah, I think Ashura's design is really awesome. It's cool to see. He's got these tattoos, he's got a dog tag around his neck, so you can really tell what his background was like. But he's got, the rolled up sleeves and the apron now. He's got a very soft expression, so yeah, you can see where he came from, but also he's a nice father figure now, like Olivia said.
I love all the details of the character that you just see in the visual design. I think the art team has done and the animation team has done a great job bringing all that
I
stuff
would
to
agree with
life.
that. Ooh, the map.
So incredible, and so incredible of Ashura to welcome us.
I really
as
wonder
new
how
players
big the
to
world
this world.
is.
So I saw there we took a look at a map really quickly, and then it took us to this new area. Is this just outside of the village, Aiden?
Yeah, so we did do a quick fast forward there, so no teleporting through space in the
Okay.
game quite that way. But this is your housing plot, so this is really going to be where you have so much creative control as a player, where you eventually, start off with these kind of humble beginnings. It's overgrown, maybe, not aspirational to start, but this is where so much of the creativity comes through, and you can build this into the place of your dreams.
Oh, I love that. And
Okay.
who are we talking to now, Olivia?
This is Hodari, the miner. He's been working with Ashura to help get the housing plot set up. A nickname that our developers have for him is Hot Dari, if you can imagine why.
It's the jawline.
It's the jawline. But right now he's just teaching you how to use your axe and your pickaxe to help clear this plot of land to put down your tent.
Okay, wonderful. And then does he provide us with the axe and the pickaxe, or is that something we need to craft?
That's something he provides you with. So you're going to
Okay,
get the
well,
axe
that's
and
nice.
the pickaxe you see on your tool wheel down there, and then you're going to craft the tent.
Okay, and it looks like maybe we're clearing some space before we craft our tent. And for me, when I jump into a world like this, I'll clear just as much as I need to, but it looks like Maddie has cleared a whole plot. Aiden, what type of player are you? Clear the minimum or clear it all?
You start off with this space inside of the fence, and I always feel inclined to just kind of tidy up a little bit before I jump back into the quest, so I can really empathize with this player here.
I'm the same way. I want to get all the
Olivia,
resources.
Do you clear the full plot, or are you going right for placing the tent?
I go right for the minimum. In fact, sometimes I'll build the tent and realize I don't have a place to place it, and so I have to go back and just like clear a few things, and I take more
Small little
time trying to do less work than I would if I just cleared a
Ooh.
bunch from the beginning.
I like.
This is
Sorry,
really
this
cool
is
what
such
we're
a small
seeing here.
thing,
So
but I really
you
like
just saw a
the way you
glimpse
were
of the
able to
grid.
place it.
And so as soon as you like
You can
take
place
an
it,
item
like,
that can be placed, that enters
so,
you into a placement mode. Surprise,
specifically.
surprise. And you know you can rotate items, and eventually this will get much more robust. You can even hide the grid
More
and
robust.
place things precisely exactly where you want them.
Oh, I love
Interesting.
that. I also loved the various rotation options. I mean, it's not just 90-degree angles. You can really get in there and make it fancy if you want to. So it looks like Maddie has made a workbench and has started crafting. And what is Maddie working on now?
So it's a storage chest, really important. You're going to be collecting a lot of different items in Palia.
Okay.
It's a good thing to make pretty early on. And,
I wonder
you know,
if you
as
could
you're
share
collecting
resources
things, one
with
of the really cool
friends.
things we added pretty early on is you can actually use the crafter and craft materials straight out of your storage bin without having to pull them out yourself. So
Oh,
just a little
that's
quality
really
of life feature to keep
nice.
things kind of streamlined in the crafting experience.
That's
I
lovely. And
appreciate
see
that.
a
You don't
new
have to take
interface that we're
things out
looking at
every
right now. What
freaking
is
time.
this point of view?
So when you're customizing, there are two main views. You can do things in the 3D space, but for really large objects, it's really helpful to use that top-down view that you, by default, use the H key there, as you can see at the bottom of the screen.
Wonderful.
And that allows you to just kind of flip in and out. What's the best way to customize? You want to get a different look at things? Trying to give you options.
And I love that you said for really large items, we are able to start Paleo with a pretty large tent.
It's kind of
Yeah.
surprisingly large, isn't it? You're like, oh, I think I could actually
I'm
put
glad
stuff
it's
up in
that
here.
big.
You know, wanted to give you
Because
some
I don't want to be
space where you
roughing
can
it like I was
actually,
those
you know,
first nights in Animal
make it your own.
Crossing.
Yeah, well,
thank
that's
you.
very generous that we get to start off with that. So thank you, Ashura and Hodari, for setting us off on a good first footing.
It's more like glamping than camping, you know?
Yeah, glamping, very
It is
glamping.
definite glamping. Okay, so that was awesome to take a look at. After this, can we go back into Kilima Village and take a tour? I know we saw a little bit of it when we first went through to meet Ashura, but let's really take a deep dive into Kilima Village.
Okay.
Let's see what we've got.
Okay,
I do
so
wanna see the village
after
more.
you're done with the tutorial, you're able to just kind of jump
This just
right
makes me
back,
want to play the game.
into
I know
the
that's like the
action,
point.
and you're able to
but
choose
now I'm
from,
just like,
a variety
give
of
it to
different
me.
activities. You can go and you can meet all the villagers, or you can start with our skills gameplay. I think this player may be about to talk to Ani, who's our delivery boy. He's very high energy, very excited that the humans are back. As the most exciting thing to ever happen to him, because he's just this little boy who lives in a small town and dreams of doing big things. Now it looks like we're going back over to the inn. Reth is the cook who works at the inn, and you can buy food from him. You can also go over and chat with him. He is one of our romanceable characters.
Romance.
If you're interested in dating him. I saw some meme that was like, like women secretly just want a line cook, fairy prince, or something else, and I was like, line cook covered.
Honestly, Olivia, there's so many interesting characters that we've seen already in the game. I was going to ask you if they're romanceable, so thank you. Thank you for answering that question that I'm sure is burning within a lot of us.
Yeah.
But yes, dating a cook, I think, is a lot of folks' dreams. So what else are we seeing here in Kilima Village?
Oh, Aiden.
Oh no, it's hard to keep up. I mean, we're running by all these activities, and one of the really awesome things about Palia is, while we have main quest lines that you can be
What are
chasing
we doing?
after, it's also one of those games where game
We're gonna
puts the main
capture
story
a
in front of you,
butterfly?
and half the players just go left and keep running that way, and really the choice is up to you.
We just
really wanted to
dazed
make
a
game
butterfly?
You could play the way that you wanted to
Oh
play.
my god.
But of course, skills are a big part of that, no
Jesus.
matter where you go. And so it looks
We
like
said
we're doing a little insect
smoke
catching here
bomb.
to get started.
Get that
Insect
butterfly.
Catching, very nice. Now, would we be catching insects because they have a worth in this world, or are we using it as a crafting component, maybe?
Oh my
You know,
god.
we get into a little of each there.
Okay.
I'm a little
but
horrified.
definitely they're valued by some people out in the world of Palia, and there are, of course, more common ones, more rare ones, so you're going to have to search high and low across different
Okay.
times a day to really try and find and complete a collection.
Awesome. So bug catching is
that over
definitely something
there?
we can do in this
Are we gonna get a
world.
squirrel
I
or
kind
something?
of saw there
Oh,
your menu
uh,
for switching back
a
and forth. Is
choppa.
that between
I
different
think that's what
skills?
they're called.
Absolutely. So that wheel allows you to really quickly just switch what equipment you have
So we
on.
can kill
You'll
those.
find very frequently in Palia, you might start with a particular mission that you leave your housing plot to go out and do, but then you end up doing so
I am
many
excited
other
to hunt,
activities
though,
that just
I'll be
pop up
honest.
all around you. And so we really needed a way for the players to kind of hot switch between those various activities
Oh my god.
as you go, as different opportunities kind of present themselves.
As the player that gets distracted by every single shiny, I appreciate that immensely. All right, Olivia, where are we headed next? It looks like we might
I think we're
maybe
going
do some
fishing.
Yeah, we're at the docks. We passed by my favorite NPC to write, which is Einar the Fishing Golder. And we'll learn a little bit more about him later. But right now we're just
Fishing Golder.
engaging in our fishing minigame, which is super fun, super relaxing.
am curious
I think it feels
how the
a lot
fishing
like
works.
fishing. And it's not as frustratingly hard as some fishing mini games are. Although, if you're trying to get the chase fish, it can get a little bit difficult. But you're just kind of trying to line that little parenthesis up with the fish.
We call it the safe zone internally.
It's so cute.
You know, that's one of those things. I'm like the player base.
I know
will think of a
we've
name,
caught it and we're
no
gonna
matter
eat
what
it
we
or
call
something,
It'll
but
stick whatever they
it's cute.
decide it is. So.
It's very pretty.
I'm a writer, so it's a parenthesis.
There we go.
It makes total sense. But Olivia, you said the fishing game is kind of a nice balance of not overly challenging, but there is some difficulty scale there.
Yeah, you know, we're really going for that easy to learn, difficult to master kind of vibe.
Okay.
And yeah, it's all of the fish. Like if you're just trying to kind of complete your
smoke
fish
bomb
collection,
another
pretty easy to
butterfly.
get, but once you get into the star
Jesus.
quality fish, which are the ones you can display in your housing plot, those get a little bit harder to catch.
I
Scared
see.
little
So we
away
have
an
different
animal.
difficulty levels of fish. It's all making sense now. I love a good fishing mini game, so I've got lots of questions there. But we'll
I
move
feel like
on.
they're
It
saying a
looks
lot
like
of things that
Maddie
are really
is running
obvious,
around
but
outside, maybe
I mean
doing a little
that's
bit more
fair.
insect catching. Are there other things we can? Oh, I see a shiny. There we go. I just answered my own question. What are we collecting at this
A
point?
sundrop lily.
This is a sundrop lily, which is one of our forageables that can be used.
Okay. I'm looking
for
at the
crafting
skill level
furniture,
thing.
like if you want to dye something, that pretty orange color. It can also be used as a gift.
You can
for
use
villagers.
flowers to dye clothes.
All right. I'm anticipating
I
that
love
gifting
that.
villagers is a way to maybe gain favor with them, but I'll put a pin in the romance discussion.
Or maybe
for now.
it's just
We'll get to
furniture,
that a
but I
little
hope
bit
you can
more
dye
later.
clothing.
But
That
I
sounds
see that
really
Maddie
cool.
is collecting quite a few things at the bottom. Can you kind of talk to me a little bit about the interface that we're looking at there in the lower right-hand corner?
Yeah, I
so
would have figured that
that's
the tool
your
menu would be
inventory.
there, but it's
Basically, at any
not.
given time, you can have. You can
But I
actually
like the
customize
tool
number
wheel
of
that they
action bars you
had.
have down at the bottom and flip between them as you want. But this is kind of like the hot selection options that you have. So, you know, if you need to eat something, which you can see our bar at the top for kind of keeping track of, you know, what your focus bar is. And otherwise, it's just
do
a
you
way
need to
keep
eat
track
to
of,
up your
of what you have,
focus?
and if your inventory is
I wonder
starting to
how
get
that
too
all
full.
works.
Okay, perfect. And I see here in this player menu, we're looking at skill levels. We've got our tools. We've got some of those items there. What should players be really paying attention to when they look at that menu?
So one of the big things on the bottom left is you can see all your skills.
skills,
Each
yeah.
of those have their own level associated with them. And particularly in the early game, every time that you're leveling one of those, you're going to want to go back to the skill master associated with that skill, because they're going to have some cool rewards, new gameplay, new content for you to access as you progress through there.
Excellent. Yeah, there's a lot to look at there, but I'm sure it will become commonplace the more time we get to spend in
Interesting.
Palia. So it looks like Maddie is kind of splitting her time between a couple different activities. And do you recommend that folks kind of jack of all trades it in terms of skills, or really specialize in one specific skill and then, you know, perhaps trade or use that to their advantage? Olivia?
I think that you can really play either way. I tend to do a little bit of everything because for some reason it feels like cheating to not actually get the things that I was supposed to use in a crafting recipe or for a quest. But you can also just specialize in one thing and then trade that stuff for gold, or you can ask other players.
Yeah,
for
I think I'm
things.
gonna specialize
There's
in hunting.
Tons of different ways to play.
And I
with the
imagine
character
that,
that I
we
have in
various
my
quests that kind
head.
of walk us through familiarizing ourselves with these various skills.
That and like crafting.
Correct. We have a bunch of different NPCs are like heads of our guild. So Einar's head of the fishing guild,
Nice.
Alani's head of the bug catching guild, and we have quests with those characters to help you learn those skills.
Perfect. So once we've gotten all our skill levels up, how do we go in and build the house of our dreams? Let's see.
Okay, I am so excited to see this.
So you can see we've kind of fast forwarded in time
Oh
again
my
here a bit,
goodness.
and we've got a reasonably progressed house, something aspirational. We've definitely moved beyond the tent phase here, and again we're kind of
Okay.
jumping between those different housing customization views in order to build things out just the way we want.
How does
In
this...
this case, the
Oh,
player's looking
whoa.
at the kind of attachment points between their buildings,
Like a double
and,
doorway or like an open...
walls on the outside.
Oh.
Which allow you to, if on the inside, do you want there to be no wall between the rooms? Do you want
Okay.
there to be a small door,
And different
like
kinds
a
of
double door?
windows.
And this is something that you'll also unlock more options for over time. Same thing with the windows on the outside. You can go no windows all the way up to, really nice customized big things.
Did we just put an addition on our house?
I think
Absolutely.
we did.
So that's also one of the big things you're seeing. Again, mentioned that this is kind of an early game. You can have a mansion if that's where you want to take this
Wow.
experience to. Add a bunch of additions to it. But yeah, as you add those,
Does it
acquire
cost
new
money?
rooms within the city hall. You have to build those and go through some of the craft time associated with it.
Okay,
it's also a nice
okay.
thing to have your friend come out and help you get through.
Now, when you mention craft time, is that in-game
Okay.
time? Is that real world time? How does that work?
So for the buildings, once you've gotten the materials there is a real world craft time associated with it.
Oh.
Generally, there's a little bit of time associated with bigger things in the world.
Excellent.
Okay,
And I
so
saw
this
we've
is gonna
kind of
take 4
added
hours.
this whole addition to our home. But if you wanted to get really granular and do it, just by doing the walls yourself and really get in there and customize, that's an option too, correct?
Right, so you can kind of change the connections between them.
Interesting.
You can also customize the wallpaper, the flooring, and of course decor, interior customization. That's something that is really rich in Palia. We have hundreds of items for you to find, and you can really put them throughout your house just the way you want to.
Okay.
I wish that in real life you could add an addition to your house this quickly.
Yeah,
It's like
for
4
sure.
hours, like that'd be great.
Just some wood
yeah.
and some stone. Man, I'll do that any day.
Yeah, it took me months to
Oh,
build
wow.
my
I
garage. so.
love the windows.
Wood and stone in 4 hours. Perfect. I agree. That would be lovely. All right, it looks
that's
like Maddie
beautiful.
is going inside so we can see some of these interiors that you were talking about and some of these interior options. Which interior options are
Wow.
we looking at right now? Can you kind of walk us through some of the things that we're seeing in Olivia?
Interesting.
So this player is pretty advanced, pretty far into the game. So they have
Interesting.
some of our more chase furniture items. Ambriel, maybe you could talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Over time, you can, like Aiden mentioned, collect hundreds of different decor and furniture items. So yeah, this player has gotten some pretty rare stuff. So they're probably investing a lot in this crafting system, learning to make some pretty high tier recipes, and maybe spending a little time at the underground market picking up some super rare stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into the
Okay.
underground in a bit, but magic is a bit taboo.
The
in
underground
this world, so
market.
If you want magic items, or you want
Magic
some
is
kind of, more
taboo.
expensive art that might have fallen off a truck. We
Oh,
have.
I'm so gonna be magic, you
A
guys.
cool underground market.
Oh, I love that whole thing exists in this world. Like you said, we'll
What?
have to get more into that a little later. But I also love that
Tell
Maddie is
me.
able to craft
Give me your
furniture
secrets.
items, it looks like right now. And that's a skill in and
Yeah,
of
I
itself.
want to
So
mainly
it's
do
not just
hunting and
a
crafting.
currency-based type of thing to get furniture. You gather the resources or trade for
Yeah,
them and
gather the
craft your
resources and
own
everything.
furniture. That's really cool. So what is Maddie making right now?
So the Choppa is one of been the most popular characters as we've been developing the game, and so of course there are a ton of Choppa themed items, wallpapers, all sorts of things that you can find in that theme.
It's so
And,
bothering me that she's not
of
harvesting
course,
those
you can use those to
carrots
customize your
and
house
the
just the way that you want.
apples.
How beautiful. And
Oh
again,
my
look at
god,
these
I just want to
placement
play this game
options.
so bad.
So Olivia, kind of walk us through once
Just a
you've
couple
created
weeks.
something,
I
what
can
is the
wait, I
process
can
to
do
then
it.
place it in the world?
It's pretty straightforward. You can either have the in-world view,
What
like
did
what
she
you're
just
seeing now,
make?
where you just click on the item
There's, like,
and you
little
can move it
lanterns in there?
along to select on the grid, or you can actually place anything in that top-down view, which sometimes like a really big piece like the gazebo, I kind of prefer to do in the top-down view.
Totally.
Very cool. And this house looks so beautiful. I feel like Maddie, yes, is making this house gorgeous for herself, but also maybe wants to have friends over and entertain. How does that work as far as if you wanted friends to come over your house, or maybe there are friends that you don't want to come over your house?
Cozy.
So permissions are a huge deal. If you remember that top-down view, there's a pull-down menu at the top there where you can set permissions on a per-player basis. And so by default, you know,
so there's some people who
visitor
can come
just
over,
has a
but
small
nobody
number
can
of
just
activities that they can do with
enter.
you on the plot, but you can upgrade them to editor status, which allows them to do things like move things around in your space, so that you can really kind of share in this customization and home experience together. It's also one other really important part here is, you know, while you might spend a ton of time making this particular housing plot just perfect, you might have other people that maybe you have a totally different vision, a totally different fantasy that you want to chase together. And so we actually have the option where you can have multiple housing plots and set different permissions for other players on each of them. So a lot of control for the kind of like social access and experience that you're having with other players in the game.
I love that. And so there's no like PvP where someone could come destroy my home after I've crafted it just the way I want to.
No, you know, you're giving somebody, if you give somebody editor status, they can move things around. So it is something, you know, you want to give to somebody that you trust and you want to have, you know, that kind of shared experience with. But there's no way that they can come in and destroy.
I'm going to use antlers in all of my
yours.
decorating.
There's not a lot of destruction happening in Palia.
Okay, great. We're keeping it cozy and friendly.
Absolutely. Cozy vibes going throughout everywhere.
Okay,
oh my
perfect.
God.
Getting this hanging
I love the
plant
little
exactly
planterns.
where Maddie wants it here, so
planters. I call them planterns.
Perfect. I am here for it. Now, you had mentioned, Aiden, having multiple plots. Is there a limit to that at this moment?
It's definitely more than 2.
So that's really cool. So you can really have that communal aspect with friends and make your own little town-o plot.
It'd be fun to have like your own house and then like make a place that's like,
there it is.
Oh, this is where we go to do this or whatever.
And I think a lot of folks watching can probably relate to that. So what do we have in terms of gardening?
We all
Olivia, walk us through
have our own resources, but if we put the resources in a specific house, then we could donate them to a bigger plot.
The hoe that allows you to till. I like how like therapeutic this feels. You know, it's very tactile. After that, you can plant your seeds. Maddie has a good variety of seeds. She's got tomatoes, she's got onions, she's got carrots. And a cool thing about if you rotate your crops like that is you actually can get buffs from like the tomatoes being next to the carrots. So if you're a min-maxer, you can do that. Or if you just like the look of like one particular crop, you can do that. There's a lot of freedom in our gardening system, which I really like.
All right, I want to hear more about min-maxing the garden. When it comes to, are these things we have to self-discover in the game, or do we get clues throughout Palia about where to position your crops to get these bonuses?
Yeah, I'm really interested in how we would learn that.
Yeah, we try to make sure players are able to discover this themselves and expose that information. It's not hidden to you. And so we see the examine key there. Like if you press, again, default G, you'll be able to see the buffs that are being shared, as well as if you look at the seeds in your inventory, it'll give you a little hint about what to expect if you plant it next to a different crop. So
okay, great. And I see the bars as we're planting seeds. I saw the bars above that. What is that showing us?
Probably your skill in gardening.
Here we go. Maddie's gonna get some water in her watering can,
it's
and then
how much
hop
they're
on over
watered.
and make sure that the plants are well watered and ready to grow.
Well taken care of. The seeds will not grow if the soil is not watered. This is perfect. So is this done one square at a time? Is there a way to kind of water multiple, or is that getting into spoiler territory and we shouldn't talk about that today?
I think we could talk about it. Yeah, starting out, you know, we're gonna give you some simple tools to get you going, but as you engage in the various skills, eventually you'll be able to craft higher tier of each of the tools. And so, you know, you'll get a better watering can that will have maybe a wider cone to water crops and make it a little bit easier because you'll also get more soil plots. So you'll have a lot more plants to be taken care of at some point.
Level up.
Yep, level up.
Okay.
Level it up. Now I see we're harvesting. When we harvest, do we have to start again from the seed phase? Do we get seeds as we harvest? How does that work, Aiden?
Yeah, it's definitely something that typically you'll start again, so you have to put seeds down. You can get seeds from a variety of sources in the game. Buying them at the store is
Okay.
kind of like the default basic. But we also have different kinds of seeds, like our tomato plants. You see, we just harvested those, and they're going to regrow again. So you actually don't have to go back to the starting phase until you've done several harvests on a tomato plant.
This is where the min-maxers have spent a lot of
Interesting.
time trying to spreadsheet out their plots to figure out how they can maximize kind of their earnings over a period of time.
It was really cool in the alpha to see players making these grids of how they were min-maxing the various spaces and kind of sharing that information. There was like a whole template that got developed for people thinking about this. And of course, you know, this is a live service game, so it's going to continue to evolve. So expect us to shuffle up that meta from time to time.
Yep.
And I love how
Interesting.
much you guys, you know, saying y'all as Singularity 6, really do listen to the community and take that player feedback. So when you get grids and stuff like that, when you see players sharing those kind of things in the alpha, do any of those things ever make it into the game?
Oh, absolutely. It would be hard to understate the impact of the alpha phase that we've been in. We've done multiple external play tests through that, gotten so much great feedback.
Do you have to drag it over every time?
It's something that we pay a ton
I'm
of
hoping there's a way
attention
to just
So I
click
really
on
just wanted
it.
to say for a moment, thank you for everyone who has play tested and helped improve Palia over time. And for those of you who haven't gotten to be a part of it yet, you know, we've just been developing this arm and getting adjusted to having players be part of the experience. And this is something
Makes
that's going to
sense.
continue as we go into the beta phase.
That's awesome. Thank you, everyone. Ambrielle, because we didn't get your input on gardening, is there a favorite crop that you like to grow the most?
Oh, I mean, we talked about how you don't have to replant tomatoes, and that's really nice. I think you've got to have a good variety to do a little bit of the min-maxing. It's fun because if you want your garden to be super aesthetic, you can plant whatever you want and you're not going to get any downsides. There's no harm in just planting all tomatoes if you think that looks beautiful. But yeah, mixing and matching them gives you some fun bonuses.
Perfect. So whether you're going for beauty or min-maxing or a little bit of both, you'll be all set. All right, we touched on some of the villagers that live in Kilima Village, and I'd love to do a bit of a more of an in-depth look at those villagers if we could. So let's walk through some of the villagers that we will meet in Kilima Village.
Zeki.
Olivia, describe who we're talking to right now.
This is Zeki. He is a Grimulkin. The Grimulkins are
Grimulkin.
cats from outer space. They're like
Cats from outer
libertarian
space.
pirates, and they run. In addition to the regular store, Zeki also runs the Kilima branch of the Grimulkin Underground, and that's where you can
That's
get
so
cool
cool.
magical items, maybe some more high-tech stuff, because remember they are from space. So if you want some
What?
technology that's not
I hope
something
they're
that,
hiding more stuff like
would
that,
usually
if
be
that makes
available
sense.
in like a small village, you can get that from the underground as
Like,
well.
I hope there's a lot of
But
stuff
he's, like,
we
one of my
just don't
favorite
know yet
characters to
until we've
write.
played the
I
game
just-
for a
I
long
love
time.
his
Or that the
animations, I love
world
his
keeps
sense of humor.
developing more and
Olivia,
more.
as our lore expert here on the panel, can you tell us again why some items might be more underground than others?
So I think I mentioned earlier, magic in Palia is a bit taboo. They grew up in the shadows of this human civilization that crumbled, and they were, a highly magical civilization, and so they have interpreted this as magic is dangerous.
Okay.
And so it's very regulated, and Zeki is against regulations, so whatever. It looks like we've gone to the city hall. This is Kenyatta. She's the daughter of the mayor.
Kenyatta is beautiful.
Kind of a rebellious teenager. She's been given this job as a way to like learn responsibility, but she's like pretty bored.
Is she
does not wanna
actually
be
a
working
teenager?
here.
I need to know
The
this.
player coming and talking to her is like a good break in her day. So
But she has
enjoys
an awesome
is
character
welcoming the
design.
players when they come by City Hall.
Now, is Kenyatta also a romanceable option? I have to ask. Her style is so cool.
She is, and
Good.
she has
Oh
a
my
very
God.
fun romance plot. We were very excited to write her romance.
I love it. And you said she exists in the
Oh my
world
god.
as the mayor's daughter?
Yes, she is the daughter of the mayor, who's like this kind of bumbling politician character, and the magistrate, who's his more like strict, sort of like upper crust, like Victorian aristocracy wife.
She knows how to get things done.
You know, she's great. I love Eshe.
I love that. Well, Ambrielle, I'm going to pick your brain on Kenyatta's look in just a bit later on in the stream because her style is so cool. And now we're looking at Olivia, who I said you had said earlier might be one of your favorite characters. Yes.
Yeah, Einar is a Galder. Galders are basically robots made by the ancient humans, but they've been kind of hanging around Palia for thousands of years. And they were all programmed with something called the oneness. And that's like the one thing in the world that makes them happy. So Einar loves to fish. We have another Galder who loves to like take care of people. She used to be a nanny back in the day, so she's very caring, very loving. And we have a lot of fun Galder characters.
So the Galders follow their programming very closely, even though they were programmed thousands of years prior?
It has become a little bit disconnected. So like if there was a Galder who wanted to, or who was made to build houses, now they might say like, stack rocks by the beach and watch them fall. Because the oneness is in the act of doing the thing, it's not in the results. So I think that it's
interesting.
It's like a cool way to kind of talk about like, you know, that one thing that you really love and how that can evolve over time.
I love that. So it's like they're programmed with a passion,
yes,
but not with an end goal.
Exactly.
And we're going to see some really fun ways that the lore will play with this kind of concept over time.
I like that he has like the fishing net on him.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things that like the writing team has had fun playing with and like taken into a bunch of different directions.
That's awesome. Okay, so I asked if we had different romanceable villagers that we can speak to in Kilima Village, and let's really get into this. How can I be friends with the folks I meet in Palia?
There are several ways to kind of gain friendship points. This is our friendship tracker. So you can see that Maddie is friendship level 2.
Wait, can you romance Einar?
There's several ways of getting to know them are you can talk to them.
You can romance the robot
once every Palian day, which resets every hour. You can also give them gifts once every real world day. And they have these special gifts that they like called weekly wants. And those you can discover through talking to the villagers.
Interesting.
What they want that week. Or you can even talk to their friends. So if you're talking to Gina, she might tell you what her best friend Hecla wants that week. And once you learn it, it'll show up on the weekly want UI, and then you can give that to them for extra points.
That's really cool that you can get to know their friends. It makes it feel like a
I remember them
society that you're
they
a part
released
awesome.
a map of how they're all
interconnected. Like Palia,
so that could be very useful.
Do you like to focus on friendship and society first and foremost, or do you like to focus on your gardening and your home plot like we've seen earlier?
Yeah, I think in games and in life, I'm more of an introvert. And so I'm usually focused a little bit more on skills, a little bit more on building my house. But like Olivia, my first priority is becoming best friends with Einar. And after that, mostly focused on the house.
This isn't too much of a spoiler because you learned it early on, but Einar will always accept shiny pebbles.
Yes.
And you can find those through the various types of
shiny pebbles.
I'm pretty much always holding it.
Understood.
The timer's up.
So I have to ask, is every villager we meet has their own friendship meter? Are they all romanceable?
They're not all romanceable. They're all friendable. So we wanted the main way that you get to know characters to actually be through their friendship, because you can have like really great relationships with people that you're not romantically involved with. Right?
Sure, of course.
So like their main story is their friendship, but certain characters also have a separate romance meter you can unlock. Once you're close enough friends with them, you can give them a romantic gift and enter in that romance, and that unlocks a new story.
And you can always see that on the UI, which ones have the romance option that you can unlock. So if you want to check, definitely an easy spot to go to.
And there may be some characters who are not romanceable yet that could be in the future. So it's always
Let us
something
know.
we're adding.
And if you
Interesting.
want to unlock all the
Interesting.
quests, I like to take
People
off
are gonna
all the
lock
boxes.
onto
Is it
that.
possible to romance
You
more
just
than
trust
one
me.
character within Palia?
Yes. So at the state of the game we're in right now, you know, again, like we're a living, breathing world. It kind of like as far into a romantic relationship you can get is kind of like the early courting stage. So you're allowed to romance as many people in that stage as you want. At the end of their romance plotline, they'll give you something called a pin, which means they really like you. And then you can wear that pin and people will comment on, oh, you're dating so-and-so, that's awesome. And you can equip up to 2 pins.
That is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
You can
and
equip
I'm
2
here for it.
pins.
All right. So as I said,
Does
I
that mean you
love
can
to go on
romance-
quests, whether they're romanceable quests, non-romanceable quests. So let's go ahead and
Does that
go
mean you
on
can
a
have
quest
multiple
and see
romance
what
partners?
that looks
What does
like.
that mean?
So for Maxwell, describe to us where we're going right now.
I
and
need
what
to
we're
know if
about to
polyamory
Yeah, so
is
we're
a thing
jumping
in
into a
Palia.
quest a little bit into the game now where the player, as they've been exploring kind of these ancient ruins, has come upon a bit of a barrier for themselves, and they've been directed to find Najuma, who,
Okay.
Olivia, if you want to give a quick intro.
I'm
to
getting
Najuma.
cold, which is why I'm doing stuff with
Najuma
my
is
arms.
the miner's daughter, so Hodari's daughter, and she is kind of a shy teenager, and she's an inventor. But a lot of her inventions are kind of dangerous, so her dad doesn't really like her doing that kind of stuff. But one of the things she's invented is a glider, and Gina knows about this glider, the archaeologist, so she is told to hunt down Najuma to build the glider so that you can kind of explore those ruins further.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have to make this glider, we're gonna have to go do a little bit of gameplay and find some materials.
Okay, perfect. And is there a reason that Najuma?
I know I'm
the
not
one who is,
reacting
like,
a ton, but they're
the keeper
talking,
of
and
the
I don't want to
glider,
say
if
too
you will?
much.
It's just because it was her invention.
Got it.
So
Cool.
that's the way, she's the only one who knows how to make them.
I see, but soon we will learn how to make them. So Maddie is now gathering the resources, yes, and we'll gather the resources needed, and then where do we go from there, Maxwell?
Yeah, so looks like we're gonna do it the hard way and manually go through, chop some trees. We need to get some leather, so that means we're gonna have to do a little bit of hunting. And then lastly, get some fabric, which we can grow cotton at the home plot. So we're collecting everything we can here, and I think once we get that, we'll be able to go back and use some of our auto crafters on the home plot to make the final pieces required. So.
Now, when you said Maddie's doing this the hard way, that leads me to believe that you would play this differently?
Yeah, I hate growing cotton myself, so I tend to just buy it from Tish's shop and jump straight ahead and
I like that there
make
are
this quest a
different
little
ways
easier
of
on
doing
myself.
it.
Got it. And
Different
you buy
ways
it
of
from
completing
the
the
shop
same objective.
because you're trading it, or how does that work?
Yeah, so a number of our NPCs or villagers run
I
shops.
might go and grab
we
my
try to make sure
sweater.
that players always have
'Cause I
an
am
option
so cold
available
right
to them
now.
if they don't want to engage in a particular system. So
Okay.
in this case, you know, I don't really like to make the fabric myself, so I'll go to her shop and just get it myself.
Play the way you want to play.
Play the way you want to play.
I love that. Well, I mean, that's the thing with a game that you're going to exist in for
I started
tens,
putting it
potentially
on
hundreds
backwards.
of hours. Having the option to play you the way you want to play is really important.
Absolutely. It's been a core part that we tried to build into Palia kind of throughout the experience the whole time. So, and also the alphas really helped us kind of tune in parts of that just, you know, to the right balance.
Okay.
Excellent. And I see it looks like we're really putting together this glider piece by piece. Olivia, how do we make a glider if it's not too much of a spoiler?
It's not. So right now you're making wood planks with our auto crafter system. Maxwell can probably tell you a little bit more about how the auto crafters work, but you're going to be making fabric and planks and and leather and all the ingredients you need for the glider.
Yeah, and so a player over time will acquire a number of autocrafters in various skills to help them, you know, refine the raw materials they collect out in the world and turn it into, you know, higher tier objects that they can, you know, make furniture with, or we saw earlier, like adding that addition to the house, which requires you to get the planks created.
Yeah, that's a lot of resources, I would imagine. So we've got a bunch of things going at the same time here. Do we finally have everything we need to make this glider, or we have a couple steps left?
I think we just have to get all the items back to Najuma so that she can put it together.
Yeah, and it looks like we skipped ahead here. All the autocrafters work on a real-time system, so
Okay.
there is a little bit of time once you put your stuff in there that you'll have to wait. But
you know what? I like that because there's so much to do in Palia that if I have to wait 5 minutes for leather, then that means I can go out and catch some insects or do
Yeah.
some hunting or, put some time into another skill that I may not have had the time to invest in before. So I feel like it's really encouraging a really mixed gameplay experience, yes?
yeah, it's also a
Ooh,
great opportunity if
those trees.
maybe you want to take a break at a time. You can load up your auto crafters, take the break, come back, and things will be ready for you.
I mean, bio breaks, come on. Who needs that? Who needs that? All right, we're back to
Wow.
Najuma now. We've got all the supplies. So now Najuma
This game is
is
so
going
pretty.
to assemble this forest, you said. This isn't something we need to craft on the workbench?
Yeah, so the things that you craft in the workbench are things that you can craft an infinite number of times. The glider you only craft once,
I see.
so Najuma does it for you.
That's awesome. All right, now you talk about maybe fishing or playing together. I certainly want to play with my friends in multiplayer. Can we talk about how multiplayer works within Palia? Embryo.
Okay.
Yeah, there's tons of things that you can do in Palia with your friends, and most of them are better for it. All of the skills that we looked at previously have some bonuses for buddying up, like we're seeing here.
Okay, so we're buddying up and doing
How
it
do the
together.
resources
and,
get divided?
Do we share the resources
Yeah.
that we're gathering here? Is there a shared loot system? How does that work?
Yeah, so anytime you're playing with friends or even just random folks in the world, as long as you participate in the activity, we want to make sure everyone gets the same kind of rewards. So
Yeah.
we've got 2 players here that are chopping the tree. Both of them receive a loot pile that they can pick up and acquire. And that holds true across all of our various skills. So we really want to make sure players don't feel like they are kind of taking away from another player and allow them to join up and have fun together.
Great, that makes sense. And I think I'm seeing, now that Taylor and Maddie are teamed up here, they're chopping down these trees twice as fast. So is there a world where I could get 5 or 6 friends together to really just go through a whole area and we're all getting the loot? So it's just like a great way to get lots of loot.
Definitely possible.
Okay.
Some of our players have do what they call deforestation efforts on sides of the map.
Deforestation
and try to
efforts.
clear out a zone.
That's really
we also have
funny.
a couple opportunities where we really want you to join with some friends. So you may see certain trees out in
Interesting.
the wilderness that you're going to need to partner up to really take out.
Oh, wow. Like just like a really massive tree.
Massive tree or maybe something a little magical.
Oh, I love it. Okay, no more spoilers. I'll be quiet on that one. It looks like Maddie and Taylor now are fishing.
I'm so excited to
Is there
explore
more
this
to
game.
fishing together than just having really great conversations, or is it, kind of like being away from the keyboard where you're fishing with a friend over, over a drink or something like that?
Yeah, so as long as you fish near another player, you actually both start to receive a little bit of a buff while playing. We also have an option where,
That's
and I
cool.
love doing this, but if someone's struggling with the fishing minigame and you're able to walk up to them, you can give them a little bit of encouragement to help save them in that moment and help them catch that fish. And it's a really great, lovable moment that people can do together.
That's so
Can multiple
sweet.
people offer fishing encouragement to one player?
Yep, you can all join in and try to, cheer them on and make sure that they succeed.
Oh, that's so
All right, I
cute.
feel like next time I'm in Palia, I want to get a bunch of friends together and just be the fishing cheering
Yeah.
squad and applaud.
Well, that's like a really good
everyone
reason
so that
to
they
do
can catch whatever fish
multiplayer.
they like. I think that's
Is to give
maybe
each
the
other
way I'm gonna
buffs.
play it, moving
And
forward.
to
Ambrielle,
oh my
have you had
god.
any experience with the cheering on friends in fishing?
Oh yeah, especially like we've been talking about, the minigame is a little tricky to get the hang of because it's not super simple. And once you get in there, it's definitely approachable. But yeah, some of those more rare fish, the ones with stars, they're pretty hard to catch. And so it's always great to run by, cheer for your friends. Even more fun when you don't know the player to just run by and have a nice little moment and then carry on with what you're doing.
I always go and
That's so
clap
sweet.
someone whenever I see them catch a fish. I'll just run
Yeah.
up and clap and then walk away.
Just a little random act of kindness to bring positivity to someone's day.
Absolutely.
I'm here for it. So, I mean, at least with gathering so far, with fishing and the things we've seen, do you think it's safe to say that, Palia can be made even better with friends, if you will? It's fun single player, but when you pair up with friends, you're you're getting more rewards faster. You're getting that positivity in fishing. Is it safe to say
What
that?
are they
Yeah,
doing
absolutely.
here?
That's been one of our core philosophies in
What
designing
is
any of the skills,
happening?
is that, you know, we
It's
want you to be able
pretty,
to do
whatever it
things by
is.
yourself, but we really want to make sure it's better when you engage with other players. And, you know, an example here that we're seeing, this is the honey lure, which is a later stage item in the game
Honey
for our
lure.
insect catching skill. It's
Oh.
open to anyone to come in, and so players that acquire these and craft them, they usually like to call out in the servers of like, hey, I've got a honey lure, anyone want to join up and we'll catch some insects? And so anyone can
that's
come in and
cute.
start to, you know, jump into this party where you can see in the screen there's tons of insects just showing up now. And they can also combo if, you know, one of the rare insects show up here and try to catch it together. So
And
Oh,
how
that's
would you
cool.
combo to catch an insect?
yeah, so as long as you try to throw your smoke bomb at one of the insects with your friend, you'll be considered as participating in that, and we'll reward you on it. And each time a player adds their smoke bomb to it, we give a little bit of an extra chance to catch the insect.
We also just have different smoke bomb types. So you might just have a basic one, and you might have a special one that has some sort of effect on the bug that makes it easier to catch.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, so pairing up with friends who have special smoke bombs is the pro tip I'm hearing right now. And now we're moving into hunting together. Ambrielle, what would be the
Hunting.
benefit of hunting together?
Yeah, so if you have terrible aim like me, it is helpful to have someone with better aim come with you, or even two people with bad aim. You'll get there. We're pretty forgiving with the hitboxes, but you can sneak up on these Sernuk for, depending on the tier of your bow and how skilled you are in hunting, they're going to take more than one shot, which means you're going to be really running around, and they're very fast and hard to keep up with. So having 2 shots or even more in a hunting party can really help, especially in the early game.
What was that
and
called?
I'm
A
guessing that this works
surknuckle
similar
or
to insect
what?
catching, where anyone who participates in the hunting may get credit and may get the overall loot and resource for hunting, correct?
Oh, and you
Correct.
can
As long
both
as you're
work on
trying to
the
take
plot.
that shot, we'll count it.
Awesome. And I see some
Okay.
farming together. Are we gardening together just to get it done faster? Is that the thought here?
Yeah, so you can always join your friend's house at their house and help them
I
do a
love
little
the
bit of
fire
gardening by
over
watering
there.
their crops or tilling their soil.
But I assume that it's not the same style of shared loot when it comes to harvesting, because you don't want everyone to come and harvest all your crops.
Yeah, this is one instance where you'll get the items yourself. Your
Right.
friend isn't going to be able to steal your garden crops from you.
That
as funny
makes
as that might
sense.
be with some close friends. So
So whoever's plot it is, that's whose harvest it is.
yes.
Exactly.
Great. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Now, what is that menu we just looked at? Is that a little emote menu?
It is, yeah. So this is what you would do
Aw.
exactly to cheer somebody on in fishing, but you can also just do it for fun when you're with your friends.
Celebrating a great harvest with Jay. All right, now that we've harvested, this is the first
A
time we're taking a
Sernuk.
look at cooking.
That's
Tell
what those
me
were.
how we cook, what the benefits
Oh,
of
this is
cooking
making me
are, and
hungry.
kinda how all of that works.
Yeah, so this is the main feature for using all those gardening crops you're growing. It's a skill that we really wanted to focus on multiplayer gameplay in particular. And so sort of like real world cooking, if you're by yourself, it's going to be a little chaotic because you're jumping between different stations. You need to, chop some veggies. You need to flip the pan. But with a friend, you can combo that up and make it a
Interesting.
little bit easier. So we have a number of mini games as part of the cooking activity. This one is the chopping one, but there's also a flipping, a stirring, and a rolling activity that you'll be asked to do. As players collaborate, as long as, again, you help in making of this dish, you kind of share in on that final dish that's created. And
That's
I think
cool.
Olivia mentioned earlier, but star quality dishes.
So you
you'll be
can
able
like
to
make
place
meals
on your
together.
plot.
That's so sweet. That's
we
so
see
cute.
players often make a beautiful spread on their tables of their cooking.
You could have a little
Are there
Thanksgiving.
any particular perks
That
or
sounds
buffs
so
or anything
cute.
that you would get from a higher star quality meal?
Yeah, so cooking and food basically fill
I wanna
your
play this
focus
game
meter,
so bad.
which focus in the game really feeds into all of your progression. So as you do activities in the game and you level up each of your skills, as long as you have focus, we're giving you a benefit or a bonus on that experience earned. So it's definitely beneficial if you want to really push forward in the game to keep your focus meter full and make sure you're consuming food at a regular basis.
How does it work
I feel
though?
like that's
I'm still like, I know I'm
very
watching it happen, but I'm still a
stress-free
little
take on
confused
a
about like
traditional survival mechanic within a
how
game
it
like
would
this, where
work
it's not like I need to
with like
eat
sharing the
and drink and
tasks of a
sleep and
meal.
keep all of that running in order to do this. Instead, you're rewarded for having your focus meter full. Is that correct, Ambrielle?
Yeah, absolutely. Just sort of like a lot of things we've talked about, like with gardening, you can really min-max if you want, but you're not going to be punished for not doing the optimal thing. And same with focus. It's really beneficial to have a snack before you go out, just like in real life,
Yep.
but you're going to be fine if you don't.
Just like in real life. I love a good snack before I go out, and in fact, had one today. All right. I have seen some pretty incredible looks today, some really nice fits on our villagers and on our characters. How would I go about increasing my own look and my own vibe check, if you will? Ambrielle, tell us about how we can look our best.
Man, they're really showing us a lot.
Yeah, so we're running into Jill's shop right now, which is one of my favorite NPCs. And we're checking out all of the different options that we have. So we saw at the very beginning when we looked in Character Creator, there's a bunch of different options that are all available to players for free as soon as they start playing. And you can open up your
this is a
wardrobe,
beautiful
which can
shop.
be on your housing plot, at the stables, or you can come visit Jill's shop, which is a fun way to do it in town. And you can see all of those options that we saw in character creation for hair and all of these different outfits and accessories. And then now we're taking a look at some of the premium options. So these are, they get a little bit crazier. We have some fun options to mix and match here. Swap all of the colors so that you can take one piece from one outfit and mix and match it with a bunch of other ones and try to create something that's really unique to you.
I do think the horns are really cool.
This is a fan favorite so far for Sixers, and I think probably for players too.
Are those shiny antlers we were just looking at? That's
Yep,
very cool.
Exactly.
That's very cool. Now, you mentioned that some of the items are more premium, and we're here at Gel's shop. So
Yeah.
what is the currency
Oh, these are
in the world of
these are
Palia?
stuff
we
that you
trading
buy
for this
like with
really
money,
cool bug that we just
real
caught,
money.
or how does that work?
Yeah, so this shop is the only place right now where you are using real world currency. So this is our
So this is
premium
all
store.
fancy clothes.
For everything else in the world, you're using gold, which you're getting through insect catching, any of the other skills that you're just gaining normally throughout play.
Is that the mayor's jacket? Are we?
It's pretty
Can you buy the
close.
mayor's jacket?
It is pretty fun to try to get some outfits that maybe match your favorite NPC or someone you're maybe trying to impress. Get something that maybe would appeal to them.
Very nice. And what is this that we're looking at right now? That looks comfy.
Yeah, we have to pause on this one. This is a super comfortable look. This is always what I like to be wearing at my housing plot. I like to have different outfits for every occasion in Palia. And this is the one I would prefer to be wearing in real life too.
Yes, I think next time we all get together in this inn and do this stream, we should all be wearing that onesie.
That would be perfect. I love it.
I'm down.
That's it. We have it. And oh my goodness, is that a musical instrument? Maxwell, what is that? Or can we play guitar in Palia?
That was the Bard Star outfit, which, yeah, if you really want to live the rock and roll glam lifestyle, that's your outfit for you. Can't play instruments yet.
Okay,
But
yes.
it's definitely something we could do in the future. We'll see.
I love that. And you know, there's a lot of people who want to live their best bard life. So I love that we
Absolutely.
have a look for that. Now, all of the looks that we're seeing right now, are these things players can expect to see during Palia's beta?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything we're looking at now will be available during the beta, as well as probably a couple more options too. And then
So
we're gonna
yeah,
be
it'll be
releasing
available
new
during
options all
beta,
the
but
time.
it is
There's already a
the
pretty good
entire
breadth of
shop
expressions
here
that you could choose
is
depending
real
on
world money.
what fantasy you want to have in Palia.
But I'm
what
hoping
kind of
there's
player you
plenty
wanna
of
be,
clothes you can get
and we hope to add to that all the time
in-game.
so that you can always find new expressions for that.
Yeah, some of the looks that we're seeing right now look a little more real world inspired, while some of them do look a little magical and more high fantasy. Kind of like the look that we're seeing right now. What is
Absolutely.
this specific outfit?
Yeah, this is the Soothsayer outfit, and you can see that there's three
I
versions
do
of
like the Soothsayer outfit.
that
It's
all have a very different
beautiful.
vibe to them. This one has the twinkling stars on the underside of the bottom, which I love.
It's
It's really fun to see
beautiful.
while you're gliding. Yeah, this is pretty much the outfit that you'll almost always find me in, or at least some parts of it mixed and matched with others.
Awesome.
I do
Now-
like that
now,
you
does
can
the
mix and match the
Soothsayer outfit
outfits,
give
I
you
will
any
say.
type of buff or bonus, or are these items strictly cosmetic at this point?
Strictly cosmetic, so we want to make sure that nothing that would hold you back from gameplay is pay gated in any way.
Great.
So these are, we think
That's
expression
good.
is a really big part of Palia, and players are going to want to show off the kind of
Expression is a
personality
big
they
part
have
of
and
Palia.
change that as often as
That's
they
why we
want to.
need all
So
skin
we want to have a
types
lot of
and
options
all
there, but
body
we also
types.
want to make sure that there's nothing that's going to block you from gameplay. No
But I do
bonuses, no
appreciate the pay
Um,
gate
yeah.
thing.
I feel like in terms of look, from what we've seen of Palia so far, it's very cozy, but there's such a wide variety at the same time. And I want to ask a little
Yeah, that's a
bit
very
about
interesting
what it
choice.
takes to bring that art style of Palia to life. So can you speak
Because
to
some
the
of it's
efforts of
really
your
high
team a little bit,
fantasy,
Amriel?
and some of it's like
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
hoodie
There's a ton that goes
and
into it, and a
basketball
bunch
shorts.
of super talented developers. It all starts with an idea, obviously, and that comes from a bunch of different inspirations, whether it's from personal taste from individual artists.
I do love the
whether it's
soothsayer
from inspiration
costume.
from different media.
I'm
that
gonna
we
have a
like,
hard time
art that we
not
like.
buying that.
The world of Palia, it's a wide world already right now, but it's going to get so much bigger.
At least
like
the
we keep talking
horns,
about. There's a
specifically
lot
for my
that will unveil
character.
in the future, and we try to take inspiration from all of those things as we translate it from a concept to modeling, rigging, getting it into game, animating it, all kinds of different texture, material treatments, and of course testing it through our awesome QA team.
Yeah, it's a very in-depth process, but it really does pay off when you get to see it in world. And Maxwell, would you say the same for your team as well? It's, walk us through that process a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. When we think about creating the world and that cozy vibe, there's a lot of intentional thought put behind, shape language and color palette in the game, and I think we'll see a little bit of that in a second. So the team is constantly trying to find a way of like balancing how do we make sure a player can express themselves in whatever real world aesthetic they want, but also make it match appropriately with the world of Palia.
That makes sense. All right, now earlier when we met Kenyatta, Amriel, I said let's talk about this a little later in the stream, but Kenyatta has a very unique style, and I feel like we get to see so much of her personality just in her look. Can we talk about how her signature look came to be?
Absolutely. I love looking at these concepts.
That's
I think it's really
interesting.
cool when you see a sheet like this and you can instantly get an idea of who the character is. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. You can see even with some of the notes here, like if she actually wore the jacket properly, this is what it would look like, but you will never catch her doing that. She's always having it tied around her waist. So you can really see the sass that comes through, which is really rooted in how the character's narrative is shaped by Olivia's team. And it's sort of input from all disciplines, figuring
I like
out
all
how
the
we bring
different
this character
earrings
to
she
life.
has too.
Even seeing like some of the small details in how her jacket matches the same fabric as her mom, Esha, who she's not always the biggest fan of outwardly, but there's still some ties there. Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. I'm so glad that we're getting a look at this Kenyatta concept art, because I don't know that I would have picked out right away that that was a blazer that was tied around her waist, but you're right. It says so much about her character that, you can see how her mother would love her to dress. But she's doing her own thing, and I am here for it. All right, let's go back to Maxwell, what you were saying kind of about the game's style overall, and how you were able to pull some real world inspiration, some fantasy inspiration into a look that still feels very cozy and lovely and warm.
Yeah, our art director Jeremy has done a phenomenal job kind of finding this cozy vibe and how we influence every object in the world. And we can see, looking at Kilima's library here, look at the architecture and how we have these like curved edges, soft shapes, pastel colors to soften kind of the mood. Trying to avoid like hard points that the player could, accidentally brush against and feel pain. So everything is meant to feel like cozy and comfortable.
Yeah, and I assume this design philosophy holds for the interiors as well.
Yeah, it goes through all of our decor objects. So if we look at the bed here in a second, as we try to like take influences of real world objects, or in this case, like what does a fancier, more like aristocratic vibe look like, but still feel cozy at the end of the day. You can see that come through in this again.
I love this music in the
smooth things off.
background.
We've got the nice silk.
I don't know if anyone's noticed that,
bedding
but
on it.
hey,
really tries to hit
hello.
that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, you can see
I'm
from the
doing
art style
good.
alone the kind of sheen to the fabric. But is that reflected in how one would craft the items then as well? So you
I'm
need the more
doing well.
premium fabrics to
I've
make
just
the
been
more
watching
premium
this
furniture.
stream.
Yep. As you saw, that had silk
It's
in
really
it. We're probably
interesting
gonna
how
have to get
much
some
they've
silk in the
shown
game
us,
to
and
make
it
that
just
bed.
makes me want to
All
play
right,
the game.
awesome. We have
so much
already
more.
seen so much, but I am getting the feeling that there's more to Palia than meets the eye.
Absolutely. As much as we've gotten to run through today, it's still just a sliver of all the things out there to experience in Palia. We do have one other really exciting thing that we wanted to show off today, which is looking at our first adventure zone, Bahari Bay.
Ooh, Adventure Zone.
Bahari
Okay.
Bay looks very mysterious.
It does look mysterious.
Our first zone that we've been looking through, Kilima, compared to this zone, which is meant to be our title for them, our adventure zones, we're really trying to capture this
I'm
sense
very
of
curious about the
exploration,
adventure
this
zones.
kind of greater sense of scale. But this is also functionally where you're going to be doing a lot of the higher end gathering, where you're going to be doing a lot of collaborating with other players, finding so many of those hidden things, those boxes and such that we were talking about earlier. It's just going to be a fun place to explore.
I'm very excited for
really
this.
Different vibe from
Earlier when they started talking about like
Bahari Bay,
magic,
as you see it now is just the beginning. Like
and
we're going to be coming out with new adventure zones. We're also going to be revisiting adventure zones you've already seen. So if a door is closed, you may see it open later.
I see. So you may have thought that you explored Bahari Bay and then returned to it later only to find out that a new door is open and there's much more to explore. Oh my goodness, there is so much to take in within this world. For everyone watching, when can players get their hands on Palia?
First off,
August
really
2nd or 10th.
Sign up at palia.com.
Yeah.
Give you a chance to get into our upcoming closed beta, which you can see here. So definitely something big to look forward to. Again, sign up at palia.com.
Awesome. I cannot wait.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm
gonna wait for it to end streaming so I can go back to the beginning and look at the character creator.
Thank you to our wonderful panel that we have here today. It has been such a pleasure.
And this was a really good stream.
So I'd like to close out with all of you with telling us what you are most excited for players to get their hands on Palia. Aiden?
Wow, it's hard to pick just one thing, but after all this time, I just can't wait to see players be in the space, to get to, be playing the game, see the world of Palia filled with life the way we always intended it. So I'm just excited to see you all in Palia as a part of the experience and see how everything's
Want to see me?
Oh, we are excited too. All right, Olivia, what are you most looking forward to from players in the closed beta?
I can't wait for players to meet the characters that I've been spending the last 3 years getting to know, and our entire development team has been spending the last 3 years getting to know. So I can't wait for everybody to meet the characters.
The cast of characters is so colorful. It's going to be amazing. All right, Maxwell, what excites you the most about players joining into the world of Palia?
I
guess I can't go back until
I'm very excited to see how players
they're done with the stream,
especially later in the game when they're progressing and what they do with their houses and how they customize it. Like, we've already seen a ton of creativity in our alphas, and once we open up to even more players, I expect we're going to see some really cool stuff from them.
And for you, Ambrielle, what are you most excited to see once players finally jump into the world of Palia?
I'm really excited to start seeing players playing together. I think when we have a really active chat going on, there's folks inviting each other.
Yeah, I think I underestimated the amount
insect catching together and bringing that kind of social
collaboration that might be required for the game.
Really fun. All right, again, thank you to everyone for being here today. Thank you all for watching. Stick around for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at our live orchestra recording by Palia's composer, Stefan Schmidt. And we will see you in Palia. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm wondering if I can go to their YouTube and see if I can go back. Yeah, I think I can go back. I am going to pause the heck out of that. I'm gonna go back to, like, the character creator. Oh, did they? Oh, they showed the trailer like I did.
This game looks so beautiful.
Okay.
Like I said, tons to delve into. I am someone who is big into character creation. I saw in the beta announced trailer, trying on some different hairstyles, some different outfits. So if I'm just getting started in Palia, how do I make my character?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So this is actually the
Yeah,
very
these are
first
the two body
experience that you
types I
do
was
in
talking
the
about.
game. You know, once you've logged in, and you can see we jump right into the lore right off the bat.
Yeah, eventually we're gonna learn what this swirly pink purple void is. So
And there's
we're
not
already
like
in the story. We're actually part of the story is that humans are coming back to the world of Palia for the first time in thousands of years. Creating your character is a big part of that. You know, like what kind of human do
this
you
is what I
want?
meant is that's the lightest skin tone. This is the lightest skin tone. And to me that's kind of ridiculous. Like I don't get me wrong, I'm really glad that there are much darker skin tones because usually that's where you don't get representation. But this time the lightest skin tone is like several shades darker than this, you know. And so I'm hoping that they expand on that because a lot of people have been like me and they're like, I'm a bit paler. I'm a gamer.
So, creating your character is a
You
big
know.
part of that. You know, like what kind of
Amount of options that you have. We took a look at face shape. Now we're looking at various skin tones, different eye colors. And just as a personal question for me, when I created my character in Palia, I tended to make someone that looked a little bit like me, but with some extra pizzazz. Olivia, are you someone who creates a character that looks like yourself, or do you go as far from that as you can?
I try to make them look as close to myself as humanly possible. Like if a game doesn't have like copper long hair, I'm like, oh, I'm already turned off for this game. So I'm glad we have so many options, so many people can, you know, be able to find themselves in our character creator.
Absolutely. And Aiden, for you, do you design a character that looks like yourself, or do you generally go into what you'd like to be in a fantasy world?
You know what? I'm one of those players out there, and I know some of you are out there are in this space as well, where I often make a kind of feminine character in when I play video games.
Okay.
And so I just love what options that we've been able to create there. Just so many awesome hairstyles to express, you know, a character just the way that you want.
And speaking of hairstyles, is this a secondary hair color that I see, or you can choose your primary and secondary, so you've got a two-tone going there, Olivia?
You can have a secondary, primary. Your eyebrows can be a different color. And to Aiden's point, where he was saying, you know, he usually likes to create a more feminine character. Something that I think is really cool with our game is that whether you have a masculine or feminine body type, you can wear whatever clothes you want. So you can have a masculine body type and wear a dress and have a feminine voice. You can have a feminine body type and wear pants, which is normal nowadays. But it's really up to you how you want to customize your character.
So really, you have options. At the end of the day,
Oh my god, I
limitless
just want to play this
options,
game
and I
so
assume
bad
more will be
now.
added over time, as this is a living, breathing.
Absolutely. It's a live service game, and so that's one of the great things, you know.
Okay, that's where we picked up. So honestly, I'm so excited, but I have high expectations for any game that I play, and so I'm gonna be really interested to see. I think my biggest thing is I worry I'm gonna find the end of their world and there's gonna be no more game to play. Like, you could keep making things or whatever, but there's no more world to explore. And I guess that happens eventually with every game, but like I want there to be more story, more this, more that. And I'm very curious to see how they accomplish that. Um I am also very curious to see if they're gonna change or update the character creator in the next, like, say before it comes out on the Switch. Um I'll be very interested to see that because I know I'm not the only one who's complained about the skin colors not being diverse enough and the body types not being diverse enough. And there's a lot of people who wanted like facial hair and there was like none. There was no facial hair to choose from. So I'm very interested to see. And a lot of people are also wishing that there were pronouns that you could make visible. So that other players can know what to call your character and all that. Well, I'm very excited about that. About Palia, all this that you've heard me talk about it for the last like hour. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and then I'm gonna be right back on streaming coffee talk. So join me then. All right. Bye-bye.